Hey guys, Rise here, bringing you Game 6 of White Raw versus Assem. It's amazing that Assem was able to take a game after being down disturbingly low 4-0 after Game 4, but took Game 5, and I gotta say, took it pretty convincingly. Look at this. Finally, neither Protoss nor Terran coming in as a Zerg player. White Raw's got to change his game face completely to try to keep up with the interesting random player that we have here in Assem. Again, this is the GoSuCoaching.com show match brought to you by GoSuCoaching.com, co-sponsor, or actually the entire prize is sponsored by Havad Khan. And so we thank him, our poker friend, for starting these games up for us to make them enjoyable for everybody to be able to watch. And, man, I gotta say, we are looking at a nice Game 6 after seeing Assem come out in Game 5, finally with a victory, having trouble going up against the really unorthodox build that we saw from White Raw with the Void Rays against the Terran player, but finally realizing that, hey, Mass Marine beat Void Rays, and with that he was able to take Game 5, bringing us to Game 6. Let's see if he can continue this one-win streak into another 5, and if he does, we're going to go to, he has to pull off basically a reverse 5-0 victory at this point, which you guys know in sports is unheard of and almost impossible, but nothing is impossible in Starcraft, thankfully, and we are looking forward to a really good game here in Game 6. So this is, of course, once again a Lost Temple. We've gone completely through the map pool. We started out with Lost Temple, then we went to Scrapyard. Following that, we went to Steps of War, and then after that, Desert Oasis, and then Blistering Sands, I think. I don't know. I might have just made half of those up. But we're back at the beginning of the map pool, and we were at Game 6, which is on Lost Temple. And we can see that the positions here are actually kind of interesting because they're about as close as they can be from 12 to 9 o'clock. Again, White Raw, the Protoss player at the 9 o'clock position, and Assem, the teal Zerg player, or blue Aqua. I don't know. It's hard to say. Oh, I guess, yeah, it's Aqua. You know, in the patch 9, they added these new Zerg decals. Not sure how I feel about it. Kind of looks like a pentagram. Not sure if they realize that's exactly what it makes or not, but kind of messed up, gotta say. And that comes on like all of the Zerg buildings, or at least the spawning pool and the hatchery. So weird that they do that. Anyway, White Raw has scouted in the right directions right away, and he knows exactly what's coming. He's going up against the Zerg player, obviously. He's going to be able to build accordingly, and it looks like he's going to pump out a couple of early Zealots. Now, we got an early double gas. Oh, look at that. Fooled me. Fooled you. He actually goes for the extractor trick to squeeze out that queen and maximize his drones at the same point in the red as he waits for his next overlord to be made. And on top of it all, gets 6 lings. And nicely done. Looks like he's going to be able to take down that probe. And the funny thing is, when you're like got a probe running around and you're trying to escape lings, do not run onto the creep ever, okay? You won't even get near the hatchery because the Zerglings just move so much faster on creep that your probe cannot get away. There's no way. Anyway, we got Zerglings gallivanting across the map as we watch them jumping. They like to hop around, which is kind of cool. Picking up on the Zelnaga Watchtower, making sure that they got as much information as possible. And White Raw has decided that he's going to go for, obviously, a fast expansion here. Blocking with the 3 Zealots over here. But that drone is actually going to scout all of this. He's going to see that there's still only 1 gateway. He's not even making any more units. He's got 4 Zealots out. But then he's going for that Nexus. Although I'm curious to see what he decides to go for next. Excuse me, as he's probably going for a forge, and he is doing that as he's going to drop some cannons right over here to help block off this front door. And that's going to put White Raw in a good position, especially because he managed to get his Nexus down at a time very close to when the hatchery went down. Zealots pushing out against these 6 Zerglings over here. The Zerglings are going to obviously have to run away. Zealots are ridiculously good against Zergling. It's crazy how good they are. But a lot of Zerglings, I can't believe they slowed down the queen even more off a creep. That is ridiculous. But it looks like he's going to have 2 to help defend against this. So I think that Assem's really going to be in a pretty good position. Look at that micro from Assem as he basically does a pretty good job of delaying those Zealots. But it looks like he's going to lose a queen, unfortunately. He does lose a queen. Oh, that sucks. More Zerglings coming out on the field, and White Raw looks like he's going to continue as he funnels in more Zealots. But I think this is going to be defended at this point by Assem. So definitely White Raw taking out a queen, that's huge. But at the same time, going to be cleaned up, and he's going to have to tech to his next level of units basically to see what he can do from there. Good dissemination. They even changed the direction at the bar moves. He goes from left to right now instead of right to left. I gotta say, I like that. It's one of those little things that just makes a big difference in viewing the game naturally, I guess you'd say. So anyway, a lot more Zerglings were produced, maybe part in panic, but also as a counter-offensive to deal with the Zealots that we were having from White Ra. And still, that drone is in the base, seeing everything that's going on here. That's amazing. Looks like he's going to test the door, but he's going to find out that there is a cannon, and even a second cannon being made, and White Ra is going to finish off a little bit of a wall over here. This is going to be Zergling tight, as they'll never be able to get past these Zealots and cannons and try to get into the base. But, you know, they could decide to go break some rocks over here, as they seem to be heading across the map and getting a high yield up. And I like this. This is exactly, you know, you make a lot of Zerglings. This is exactly what you want to do with them. As soon as they're effectively useless against a wall-in like that, you do just this. You start attacking the destructible rocks and making sure that you get the most out of these Zerglings. So he's going to be able to send a drone over here, no problem, and from there he'll be able to continue up with that expansion. Look at this, we get 3 queens out on the field. I like this. He puts down a couple of early creep tumors, basically making his queens a lot quicker at responding from his main base to his natural expansion, as well as he's going to be able to have plenty of energy to do things like transfuse and spawn more larvae and even more creep tumors later if he wants, to creep up the entire map. And the destructible rocks at this point about to go down, and then that drone going to be able to make himself a little hatchery over here and getting some minerals. That's what I like to see. Obviously, he opted not to go for this one over here, as that would be absurdly difficult to defend, as White Rock could basically put cannons up here or over here to just harass anything that's going on inside the base over there. But that may be a base of high... I don't know what the word I'm trying to think of is. High controversy? No, that's not it. You guys are probably like screaming the word at me right now, like it's blah blah blah, but I just can't think of it. Anyway, we got at this point we got a observer coming out for White Ra, and I should put up the production tab to see what's going on, make sure we don't miss anything, and a robotics bay. Look at that. So we may be seeing some Colossi coming out here, also getting up a second and third gateway, and probably going to get some warp tech. There it is, right there, researching away. This base up here, about 2/3 of the way done at this point, and basically it is very well hidden from White Ra. He's got no idea what's going on. As you can see, he just does not see it right now. So obviously he just hasn't scouted it. But he's in a pretty good position himself. If we go to look at the army composition, they're pretty even in food count, ever so slightly ahead for Assem. And I gotta say, as soon as this comes up and running, if White Ra does not either do a timing attack where he gets in here before any drones come out, you know, he's going to be in trouble as soon as this kicks in, because Assem is going to be able to mass up like a bastard, and it's going to be very difficult for White Ra to handle that. And I love this. Oh, putting down another creep tumor. He is spreading creep in multiple directions here. Fantastic use of tumors and a third queen by Assem. Curious if he's making another queen here. He's not yet. He's just going to macro it up straight with drones, and hopefully maybe he'll even send some across the way. He does do that, and as soon as those get there and kick in, White Ra literally will be in trouble, as Assem is going to be able to just make an absurd amount of units. But the thing I don't like is the fact that he's made as many Zerglings as he has. He's got approximately 48 Zerglings. All right, 46... 47, 45, 45 Zerglings out on the field, and against Colossus and Sentries, this is just not going to be something that works well. It will be good against the Immortals, and I like the fact that he made that, but he's going to have a lot of trouble with the Colossus. Now, back to the production tab, we can see that Thermal Lance is being upgraded. He's got that Warp Tech done. He's got 4 gateways already down, 4 Warp Gates down at this point as well, and a second Robotics facility, so he's going to be focusing on Colossus. What's he going to do, though? He's got a Robotics, he's got a Warp Prism coming in at the Robotics facility. And there, once again, I should show that he does not know that this is up and running at this point for Assem. But he is going to be able to see with this observer everything that's going on inside the main base. Assem, of course, not seeing it himself. He may spot that, but it's possible. Oh! Overseer is in the base of White Ra, finding out exactly what's going on. And let's see, did he see? He saw the Robotics facility, and it looks like he's even going to get a glimpse inside the base of White Ra over here as well. Although he may lose that Overseer to those Stalkers. That's going to be unfortunate if that's the case. And he drops a Changeling. Wow, and I don't know if White Ra saw this beautiful move. He's going to get a full scout over here, and White Ra